Imagine this. I was at a Burger King drive-thru. We've all been there, right? Right? Anyway, I was at the drive-thru, hungry, one evening late after work. Backstory, I was 8 months pregnant. And when I first got pregnant, my doctor said, you can gain 40 pounds. You're fairly light. Well, my eating habits weren't very good, and I got to 40 pounds within about 5 months. So in total, I gained about 75 pounds. So back to the drive-thru. I went to the ordering window and I said, I'll have a bacon double cheeseburger combo. And to that, the gentleman replied, that's usually not what women order. So I proceeded to the next window, and I was thinking about it, and I was kind of ticked. So when I got to the window, I paid, I grabbed my food, and I said, I just want you to know, I'm no ordinary woman. I'm hungry, tired, cranky, and pregnant. And with that, I drove off. It wasn't probably even a few years ago that I still would have eaten, maybe not the French fries or the pop, but I would have ordered a Diet Coke and maybe something instead of the French fries, thinking that was, the best choice I could make under the circumstances. What we don't realize is that we are preyed on by the media, the food industries, the labels and labeling laws, and we're led to believe that the choices that we're making are, good enough, when actually there's better ways that we can do things. So as children, we're told to finish everything that's on our plate, which that alone is enough to make you feel guilty for life, thinking that you should eat everything on your plate. A number of us grew up with a number of siblings in a large family, and we were used to eating quickly so that we could get to the next helping or get to the dessert. In my house, there was actually something that when there was food left on the table, somebody would say, well, eat it. Go ahead, eat it, because it's either you or the garbage. Really? That's what it is? It's either me or the garbage? How does that make you feel? Anyway, what I've learned after a number of years and my study into better eating is that we can survive and even thrive on eating less. Also, what I found is that when you're eating nutritious food, you don't need to eat as much. You actually feel satiated earlier because your body is getting the nutrients that it needs. Also, another thing I found is that when you mention to somebody that you're either going vegetarian or you're just deciding to eat less meat, the first question is always, well, what about the protein? Where are you getting your protein? And everybody makes such a big deal about it. It's actually not as much as we think it is that we need to be eating. And we do get protein in our plants, in our legumes, and in our nuts, seeds, and grains. So that is something that people don't tend to consider. And practically, what I can suggest or give you some tips is that, as mentioned, when it's healthy food, you will find that you don't need to eat as much. Another thing to keep in mind is that when you're out for dinner, you might want to consider sharing a meal or an entree and an appetizer with your spouse or friend or whoever you're there for dinner with. Alternatively, when you're ordering your meal, you could decide to pack it up, half of it, and take that home for your lunch tomorrow. In effect, you're actually spending less money if you portion it over, over 2 meals. A final option is possibly when you're at home, consider just using a smaller plate. You're going to feel that you're getting, a full meal because you're putting your plate will appear full. but you'd be eating less. So these are just a few tips that you can apply to your daily life.